Hi everyone, keywithkeysblog.com. Take a look at my shirt. No surrender. See it? Read it and weep, lefties. We're at war. We're at war at home. We're at war in the Middle East. We're not going to give up to Islamist fascists. I don't care what you university elitists say about racism and all that other crap. All that doublespeak. We're going to talk today about Massaoui, a French citizen of Moroccan descent who testified he was involved in the conspiracy that resulted in the September 11, 2001 attacks. That was by his own admission, by the way, so it's a little ridiculous that the jury would recommend his light little life sentence without the possibility of parole that was handed down on May 4th. Think back about 60 years to the Nazi criminals and their incarceration prior to their trial at Nuremberg. How in the world could we have passed judgment on those poor Nazi war criminals when they might have been abused during their childhoods, when their environment might have been harsh and they were just a product of their environment, so they were helpless for torturing and killing those Jews and the chemical experiments at Auschwitz and so forth. There's so many possibilities. They could have been raised in an alcoholic home. We would have to forgive them their crimes against the Jews in the United States in World Wars I and II. No one 60 years ago, of course, would have thought these considerations were remotely even relevant to judging the murdering saboteurs' responsibility for participating in a plot to carry out attacks on American soil on behalf of Nazi Germany. We have come a long way, baby. The jury that spared Moussaoui the death sentence thought his unstable childhood, violent father, and the racism he encountered in France were mitigating factors in his guilt. Moussaoui had a harsher reaction, yelling out in the courtroom after a clinical social worker testified about the hardships of his early childhood. What a bunch of crap, huh? American leftist BS. At the Wall Street Journal, Daniel Henniger wrote about the new film that's out called Flight 93. We're reminded in that film how we're kidding ourselves if we think Moussaoui will rot in prison. Because defenders of Moussoui's life sentence say he'll rot in prison. Perhaps in a better world, Moussaoui would share a cell with Hannibal Lecter. But if our moral betters aren't going to let Saddam's torturers rot in Abu Ghraib, if they aren't going to let the CIA's most important Al-Qaeda captives rot in secret foreign prisons, they certainly aren't going to let Moussaoui rot in Florence, Colorado. He'll be treated more than well. Not to mention the Moussaoui trial itself. We arrive at the end of these interminable trial circuses of procedural delay and then claim the system works and justice has been done. No. It has done damage to the normal idea of justice. He saw the game early on and made a mockery of it. Moussaoui achieved a 2-year delay in his trial by demanding to interview Al-Qaeda detainees. But our moral betters insist that the whole lot of Gitmo detainees be given access to the same system of justice. They would diminish and crush it. The odds were strong, as Moussoui's lawyers knew, and the governments should have known, that 9 of 12 jurors would vote that Moussoui's childhood was dysfunctional and mitigating. This is the therapeutic vocabulary that the West has developed to explain anything in the years from the post-war period to, say, September 11. For quite a while after September 11, we were a people united in the war on terror. By now, we've let the adrenal pleasures of political fighting over the presidency dissipate the difficult emotions of staying united against a real enemy. The war in Iraq has contributed, but you can't lay it all off on Iraq. The ambiguity of the Moussaoui jury is a portent. See United 93. It is difficult, as it should be. The reason this is all irrelevant is that Moussaoui was nicknamed the 20th hijacker. He took pride in this moniker. At his trials, Moussaoui mocked the families of his victims and said he wished that September 11 could happen again. And those are the facts. Free Jack Idema. and watch for the announcement of his legal defense fund.